Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in, everybody. If you like this music, make sure you check out Stream Ables on Spotify. There will be more albums. It's my buddy who makes and produces this music. Actually, I don't think he makes it. He collaborates with the team. But either way, check out Stream Ables on Spotify. You can use it for your streams, your videos, whatever you want to do. It is 8:29 a.m. July 27th, 2021. A lot has happened in the past 24 hours as far as Olympic drama. We're not going to always just cover sports news on the show, but it's the Olympics right now. So, obviously, we're going to talk about the Olympics. First things first, let's go over the medal count so far. We have Japan still in first place with gold medals at 10 gold medals. China and the United States are in second place with 9 gold medals, tied for second with 9 gold medals. The Russian Olympic Committee has 7 gold medals. As far as total medals go, the United States is kind of flooring it. We have 25 total medals. That's 9 gold, 8 silver, 8 bronze. Japan only has 18 total. I don't know how you determine who, like, this medal count, because Japan has only 1 more gold medal than the United States. And what I say? Japan only has 1 more gold medal than the United States. And they only have 3 silver, 5 bronze, where we have 8 silver, 8 bronze. We as in the United States. I don't know how you determine. Like, if we were in a track meet and we came and brought these down to a point system, United States, we'd stomp this. Excuse me. The United States, we'd be owning this. Like, we have way more total medals than anybody. The only person that comes close to us is China, and they're 4 behind. I don't know if table tennis is over, but they're going to win the table tennis one. I watched the United States versus China volleyball match last night, at least the first 2 sets of it. The United States ended up taking the volleyball match against China in 3 straight sets. I watched it. The first 2 sets were close. Well, the first set was really close. The second set wasn't that close. But I don't think China's the defending world champs. I don't think they've lost twice now. I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull it together. The United States was actually looking pretty good. That Jordan Johnson gal was absolutely. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're not even into sports, you need to go back and watch some clips of this Jordan Johnson. No, wait, is that her name? No, it's not Jordan Johnson. Oh no, it's not her name. What is her name? Jordan Thompson. Jordan Thompson, I think. Let me look it up. Thompson. If I said Johnson, I apologize. Jordan Thompson. Yeah, it's Jordan Thompson. Once I say Jordan Johnson, Jordan Thompson. I apologize. Correction, Jordan Thompson. I watched her just absolutely dominate, and you need to go back and just watch some clips, even if you're not into sports. It's amazing to watch. Other drama that happened is I woke up this morning to the headline that Simone Biles pulled herself out of competition. I watched her floor routine where she messed up earlier this week. What do you call it? It's not for gymnastics. It's not pool play. What is that? I don't know what you would call that. I used to watch the gymnastics every year because I used to tune in to watch Simone Biles, the United States, just absolutely floor everybody. That's the whole point of the Olympics, is everybody tunes in to watch greatness. And Simone Biles pulled herself out. I've read a bunch of different tweets. I've read a bunch of different quotes. I've read a bunch of different, I'm not going to call them sources because they're not news sources, but just a lot of different tweets from the Olympics. And she said she pulled herself out for mental reasons, mental health reasons. And I get it. She has had a lot of pressure. She's probably under the most pressure of any Olympic athlete, only because we expect her to bring back a gold medal because she's been so dominant over the last decade. I want to be very careful how I talk about this because I understand the pressure. I mean, I don't understand. I've never been to the Olympics, but I understand the pressure that she's going through only because she, like I said, is literally just expected to win gold, and that can be a lot for an athlete to live up to expectations. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's not. I don't know the word I'm looking for. I'm not gonna say it's not uncalled for her to pull herself out. She went on record in saying that the rest of the team worked so hard to get here. It'd be a shame if if I did something to mess it up. And the United States ended up taking second. Biles is one of the most dominant, is the greatest gymnast of all time. I don't know a lot about gymnastics, but I will tell you, because of the word or because of the rumors or because of the news saying she was the greatest of all time, like, years ago, or she could possibly be the greatest of all time years ago, and now she is labeled the greatest of all time. I tuned in just to watch her because of, watching greatness. And she did mess up. I don't know all the rules, but she stepped off the mat during her floor routine. And I don't know if that got to her. I don't know if it was all the pressure. She went on record and saying in a tweet, somebody tweeted that she was talking to one of her friends, saying on the team, said that she feels like the weight of the world is on her shoulders. There's something wrong here. Whether she's collapsing mentally, whether she doesn't have a good support system, whether there's somebody talking in her ear. She did talk about in an interview that I saw, she talked about the whole situation with the sexual assault allegations that went on in the USA Gymnastics. But there's something going wrong, something not right with the support system that at least that the support system that Biles has. And then maybe the support system that the gymnastics team, there's something wrong with the support system with the gymnastics team. There's something wrong with the support system possibly of the Olympic athletes, because there's no reason why the most dominant athlete in her craft of all time pulls herself out. there's got to be some sort of accountability of her. She's got to step up a little bit. She's got to overcome. However, I understand that she has a lot of pressure and it might have got to her. But this is the Olympics. The United States is counting on you, and you say you pull yourself out because you didn't want to ruin it for the rest of the team, but you performing and you doing the best of your ability is what we need of you, because even your subpar is probably better than most athletes in that craft at their best, because it's kind of like it's I mean, I get it, but if you were going to do that at the Olympics, you might as well just not went. You might as well just not even gone. And I'm not trying to criticize her, and I'm not trying to say shame on her for pulling herself out. I'm just saying there is something wrong with the leadership of the USA Olympic gymnastics team if she had to pull herself out because she didn't feel like she could perform. I don't know if it's the leadership. I don't know if it's the mentorship or the support system, but there's something wrong. There is something going on with that. So I was just double checking the feed here. I was making sure that we aren't I thought we were stuck on a screen here. Okay. This is the equivalent of, imagine if, let's just say, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Let's just say LeBron James because this is what's going on now. Let's say it's LeBron James 6 years ago when he is still the most dominant basketball player in the NBA. Let's say LeBron James goes to the NBA Finals. They're going into Game 7. They're going into Game 6, Game 7, and he pulls himself out because he feels like he couldn't mentally handle the pressure. Okay? Now, we would sit here and we would criticize LeBron James for not handling the pressure, but we would have been criticizing the wrong person. We should be criticizing whoever is not supporting him, and like, it might be teammates, I don't know, but most likely it's leadership, his support system, the organization. There's no reason why the greatest of all time should feel that much pressure to perform and then not, to the point where she feels like she's going to fail or he's going to fail. Okay? And then pulls themselves out of competition because they think they're going to perform so badly that them not even participating will be better than them on the court or them in competition. It takes a lot to perform at such a high level, mentally, physically, emotionally, especially for something like gymnastics on a floor routine when you're out there by yourself performing and it's like choreographed and there's literally judges judging you based on your performance and then compares those to the other competitors. It's a little different when you play basketball or when you play football or when you play rugby or even when you run track, because you are competing directly against the other athletes and you're not being judged for score and you're not trying to impress a person. So hats off to the gymnastics team, the USA gymnastics team, and congrats for getting second place, getting silver medal. Oh, it should have been gold. And huge respect, huge kudos to what you guys do. It's definitely not easy. I used to feel when I used to play football and I used to play basketball in, the same school year. And there's something about when you mess up. And I used to play football in front of a lot of people. I was from a big football town. Basketball was like subpar to football. Okay. I remember what it feels like. There's something different when you have pads on, and if you mess up with pads on, they can't see your face with football pads, like a helmet. There's something about basketball. There's fewer numbers out there. There's only like 8 or 10 dudes on the whole team. There's not like 50 or 60 dudes on a team. The sidelines, you're not wearing pads, like I said, and you're on the sideline, and usually the bleachers are right there. On a football team, you're pretty far away from the stands. On a basketball court, the fans, your parents, other people's parents, they're right there. I did play basketball against Emmitt Smith's sons, supposedly one time, but Emmitt Smith was at my game one time, but a long time ago. But the pressure, that was just a side note. It was pretty cool. The pressure of that does feel like way different. When you mess up, it feels way different. Even when you do well, it feels weird. You're afraid to smile. Like when I used to make like a jump shot or a layup or make a good steal, it would be like fighting the smile for some reason. On the football field, you're far away. There's more people. There's pads that hide your emotion. So I can't even imagine what it must be like as a gymnast going out there on the floor, putting your flailing your body around, doing these flips and twists and trying to land perfectly and look pretty, and and just literally all the eyes are on you and what you come up with in a routine. So I understand there's a lot of pressure. So we got to have a support system, or the United States has got to have a support system to do better. I don't blame Biles. I don't know all the details, so I can't blame her yet. For most situations, I would say the athlete needs to step up. For most situations, I would say the athlete needs to step up. She needs to get over it, or they, he, she, whoever. But in this situation, on this stage, she's been there before. She's been there. She's done that. There's something going on that's way deeper behind the scenes that we don't know about. Now, part of me initially wanted to say, well, it might have been the first time she experienced failure on this stage when she messed up in her first routine. And she doesn't know how to bounce back from that. That could be it. If that's the case, that's on her. And leadership and support system to not build her up. But if that's not the case, if it's just overall, it's just the pressure of it all where she can't perform, then that's on the leadership and the support system. I got to tell you, it's really weird watching the Olympics without any fans in the stands. It's weird. Sports aren't meant to be played like that. Not on this level. I hate that the athletes have to wear a mask while on the podium, and it really hit me when I watched. Who did I watch to get the gold medal? We had an American go. The female swimming. I think it was a 100-meter breaststroke. I don't remember. I'm really bad with names. I don't remember their names. But we had a gold and a bronze medalist for the United States. And I don't know, just kind of, you're on the biggest stage of your life. Of most 99.99999% of people will never be in that situation. It's the pinnacle of sports for most of these sporting events. And they're on the podium and they're wearing a mask, and they don't get to have the moment with their, the cameras are on them because they did it. Okay? It's the accomplishment of that athlete, and then the pride of when you're the gold medalist and you get your nation's flag raised up to the highest level and your national anthem is played. And they got to wear a mask. And then the person that was giving out the medals, they didn't even put the medals on the girl. They handed it to her. Typically, the athlete leans over and they drape the medal on them. But this athlete was handed the medal and she put it on her like she was wearing a necklace. An Olympic gold medal. I was sitting on the couch watching with my wife, and we were both pretty mad. There's just, look, it doesn't make any sense. First off, these athletes were just next to each other without masks competing. Now you stick them on a podium, they're like 25 feet apart from each other, it seems like. They're wearing masks. And then the lady still hands her the gold medal, but can't put it around her neck? Like, come on. Makes zero sense. None. I get if we're worried about a pandemic, but let's use some logic. We're not really worried about a pandemic. It's all a show. It's all an act. I get so flustered when I talk about this. It's all, like, if we're gonna do this, let's do this all the way. Shut the whole world down. Shut it all down. I don't want to see my Olympic athletes that represent my country standing on the biggest stage with a mask and not even get the crown of all medals put on me. I gotta watch her like fumble with it and put it on like she's putting on a necklace. Like, come on, we gotta do better. I don't know why more people aren't standing up and like saying that this is freaking BS. And that's just the start of it. That's just like, I watched a Chick-fil-A commercial during the Olympics last night, and a dude came out with a tape measure in the middle, separated a couch, and the Chick-fil-A employee was on one side, and I don't know, like a gal and her mom were on the other side. And they were 6 feet apart, no mask. I know for a fact behind the, like, this to show that they were 6 feet apart. In the commercial. They literally brought out a tape measure in the commercial, measured out 6 feet, and set them down. Meanwhile, I know for a fact behind the cameras they were next to each other, probably talking, going over scene, script. And then at the end of the commercial, they were next to each other because the mom and the gal and the little girl like rolled off in like a little wagon, and they went right next to her. No mask, no nothing. Like, what are we doing? This isn't about the pandemic anymore. This is all a show. This is all like, I don't know how people are making money off of this, because I'm not that inclined of a business person, but people are just doing this to make money at this point, I feel like. Or they're just doing it to virtual signal or be a part of something. Like, some people have never been a part of a team in their life. Some people have never been a part of anything great ever, and they think that this is the time that they can band with somebody to feel some sort of camaraderie. And then there's no logic. There's zero logic. There is other news right now, talking about pandemic of there's more people, cities, quote unquote government officials. I always do that. I always say quote unquote officials. Quote unquote officials pushing mask mandates. And it's just over this Delta variant, and then they're still harping on unvaccinated people. I get confused because I feel like sometimes they say, hey, we got a lot of people vaccinated. But then I saw another set that says not even half of America is vaccinated. Where are all these freaking doses going? I'm gonna look up USA vaccination. Wait, that says vacations. I'm stupid. I typed in vacations. Vaccination numbers. There's a progress tracker. Ooh. Is it the USA? Okay, look, we're gonna look at this together. What's the nation's progress on vaccines? At least 188,472,188 people, or 57% of the population have received at least one dose. 163 million people, or 50% of the population, have been fully vaccinated. So we're over half. I don't know why I'm seeing different numbers. There has been 394 million doses that have been distributed, with 86% or 341 million doses of those have been used. So 341 million doses have been put out. And 50% of the 57% of the population. Is that so? Are those numbers together? So this doesn't make sense. So is it 188 million have received at least one dose? And then of those, is it 163 million have been fully vaccinated? If so, we got a lot of people vaccinated. So I don't know why people who are vaccinated are worried about the unvaccinated people. You should, if you're covered, you're good. This is what I'm talking about. This is the logic behind this. You know, I'm not worried about getting smallpox because I've been vaccinated for smallpox. You know, I'm not worried about getting measles because I've been vaccinated for measles. I'm worried about like stuff that actually matters. Like, I don't know, getting like an actual illness, getting the actual flu, getting an getting in a car crash. Things like that. I'm worried about stuff that actually matters. We're gonna look up one more source. We're gonna go. That was usafacts.org. Let's go to mayoclinic.org. What date is this? We're just gonna look up one more source to see how many people have been vaccinated. Those numbers seem right, because when I looked it up on a legitimate source last week, it was around those numbers, and it's just a little bit higher than. Okay, see, these break it down. I want to see total. This breaks it down into state. Wow. This breaks it down into state. Like, look at this. And by age category, in Connecticut, 94% of the people over the age of 65 have been vaccinated. Wow. What state is this? Vermont, 100% of people in Vermont over the age of 65 have been vaccinated. That's impressive. Kudos to them. Look, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not even necessarily anti this vaccination. I'm not going to give this vaccination. I'm anti this for myself. I don't think that there should be someone in the government who's not a doctor telling you you should get a vaccine. I don't think anybody between the ages of 12, I don't think anybody below the age of 50 should get this vaccine. If you're a healthy adult, you exercise, you eat stuff that isn't just McDonald's and ice cream, you drink sodas all day, you should be fine. Not you should be, you will be fine. You might get sick, but you'll get over it. The survival rate of this quote unquote pandemic, the survival rate of this virus is like well above 99%. Not worried about it. However, we do not know, because we don't have the data, the long-term effects of this vaccine. We don't. And if anybody tells you that we have long-term data, we don't. The vaccine hasn't even been around for a year. Most vaccine studies takes 5 or 10 years to come out with a vaccine. We came out with this in 8 months. Not buying it. Now, I understand the science is different. This isn't like a typical vaccine. I understand that it's an mRNA vaccine. It's a different kind of technology. It's not like they're putting the live virus in you. But I don't trust that technology either, even if it was for something else. If that technology in a vaccine prevented against AIDS or prevented against cancer, I still wouldn't take it. It's too new. We don't know anything about it. Or we know about it. We don't know long-term effects of an mRNA vaccine on a human study, on a human being, like a mass amount of human beings. We don't. We just don't have the data. So if you want to get the vaccine, that's fine. Do it. Be the test subject. I don't really care. It's your choice. I'm pro being an American, so I applaud you for doing it. But like I said, this is America, so I have the choice to not to. I'm not putting anybody at danger. I'm not putting any vaccinated people at danger by not getting the vaccine. Personally, I don't think I put anybody at danger because there has been a lot of studies that come out that say that the whole what is it called? Anti-Semitic people spread the virus. It's just been kind of disproven. I get tested very regularly. I play college football in a state that has one of the strictest COVID rules. My county, or my school board in my county, has been overly cautious with COVID. I have been tested like 10 times in the past 3 weeks. So I know I'm not getting other people sick. I've had the baseline PCR test done. I've had rapid antigen tests done. I go through a freaking medical screening every single day just to get on campus to play football. So before someone comes and ats me, if you're worried about getting the virus, why don't you get the vaccine? You take care of your body, and we'll go from there. I'm just gonna say this: if they were really worried about the Delta variant, the borders would be closed. That's just facts. The borders would be closed. They would have shut down travel immediately, especially coming from the administration that criticizes Trump for not closing the borders fast enough, which just isn't true, by the way. Because when he did close the borders, remember they labeled him racist and xenophobic. Remember that? Remember when Trump closed the borders, they labeled him racist and xenophobic, and then 3 months later they say that he didn't close the borders fast enough. Y'all remember that? I remember that. Fact check me. Fact check me. Somebody fact check me. Go for it. Do it. Sorry, I'm kind of going off on this because this is one reason why I left the military. The military has what I mean is the lack of logic behind things. There's not proper leadership. There's not real logic going into this. My frustration is about the lack of logic and the lack of consistency and the lack of leadership during all of this. It's not that there is a pandemic. It's not a pandemic. Let's just be real. It's not. Not like when this first came out, not gonna lie, I did all the precautions as if a really bad pandemic was gonna happen. When we did the initial 2-week lockdown, I was kind of for it. I was upset. I was mad. I was pissed. But I was like, hey, it's 2 weeks. Let's knock this out of the park. Let's do this. I already keep food. I already have kind of like an emergency ration in my house. But, where I was at, I'm in Southern California, like I said, high population density. People were kind of losing it a little bit. People were a little worried. And I took precautions for my family. When this all first went down, I kind of helped some other people prepare. I thought, hey, this could get really bad. And then the 2 weeks was over. And we still were locking down. And I was like, okay, we're going to open up slowly. Because at first they were making it seem like 50% of the people were going to die. And we didn't know. We only knew what the media told us. And I was a little concerned. I wasn't necessarily worried about my own health and safety. I was more worried about my family, and I was more worried about how are we gonna make it through this? What's gonna happen? I was more worried about our safety as far as from other people, having food, having ways to hygiene. I was worried about literally the worst case scenario, like no power, no food at the grocery store, people looting, people starting to go crazy, which did happen, but for other reasons. And so I took precautions at the very beginning. I really did. Well, I didn't see my wife's family. I didn't go who are old, who are older. I didn't go see I didn't go do certain things. And then as the data continues to get released, we just realize that it's just not that dangerous. COVID-19 isn't what we thought isn't what we thought it was. COVID-19 just wasn't. Maybe for certain demographics of people, it was pretty dangerous, but that goes with any illness. If you're higher in age and overweight and you don't take care of your body, you can get sick and die from anything. There's a lot of comorbidity factors with COVID. It's not just a healthy person, like an in-shape 24-year-old who's not has any deficiencies gets COVID and dies. Maybe here and there, but guess what? That happens with any illness. All right, I went on a little bit of a rant today. Wasn't really expecting to do that. Like I said, I don't really write scripts or anything. I usually just get some talking points when I wake up, see what's going on, and then we talk about it. This is a live show, everybody. So feel free to comment. Feel free to chime in. Feel free to suggest topics, suggest guests. Make sure if you are listening on the podcast after this is aired, make sure you follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch at JJ's Live Show. That's capital J, apostrophe S, all caps live show. Make sure you catch the show live so you can be part. We're building a live audience. Some episodes right now we have a live audience really involved. Some episodes you don't. That's okay. I'm just going to keep grinding. We're going to keep growing. We're going to eventually do something great with this. Okay? I appreciate all the supporters we've gotten so far. I appreciate all the listeners. Listen, the best way you can support right now, and it's absolutely free to you, is you hit that like button, you comment, and you share. Whatever platform. I'm not saying follow on all 3 platforms. I mean, sure, if you want to help me out, follow on all 3 platforms. But follow on whatever platform you are going to be involved in. Whether that's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. And if you just want to listen to this podcast, as an MP3 later on after we're live, go ahead. Do that. Just, I think on Spotify, you can follow it. Follow the JJ's Live Show. We're going to wrap it up right now. We'll be live back tomorrow around the same time. So make sure you do whatever you got to do to get the notifications to get in here. Okay? All right, guys. Like I said, if you like this music, make sure you check out Stream Ables on Spotify. Okay? It's a buddy of mine. He's got together with a team of people to create really good. They got a lot more songs coming out. I've already took a sneak peek, listen in on some of the new stuff that's coming out, and it's gonna be fire, guys. If you guys want music for your live streams, if you want music for your YouTube videos, whatever, make sure you check out Stream Ables on Spotify. All right, that's it. That's all I got. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, peace.